It wasn't until after his disappearance that the true nature of Muskaan and Sal's relationship came to light. The plot unveiled. Muskaan and Sal's dark chemise investigators pieced together the timeline of events. They discovered that the plot to kill Saurabh had been simmering for weeks. Muskaan and Sahil had been planning his murder meticulously. They knew that Saurabh would never suspect them, and they believed they could dispose of his body in a way that would leave no trace of their involvement. Muskaan, who had grown increasingly resentful of her husband, had come to view him as an obstacle standing in the way of her and Sal's future together. Their plan was simple, but horrific. Muskaan would invite Saurabh over for a quiet dinner, during which Sahil would be waiting. As Saurabh settled in, he would be ambushed by Sahil, knocked unconscious, and subsequently killed. After the murder, they planned to conceal his body in a plastic cement drum. This would allow them to transport it to a remote location and by time before anyone suspected foul play. The choice of the drum was deliberate. Its sealed nature would slow decomposition and make it harder for authorities to detect the cause of death. Their plan, however, would unravel far sooner than they expected. The decision to dispose of Saurabh's body in a public area where it could be discovered was their first fatal mistake. They believed they had covered their tracks, but the decision to keep the body hidden in a location that was both obscure and easy to access would later lead to their downfall. A horrific discovery when the body was found by the workers. The authorities wasted no time linking the crime to Muskaan and Sahil. Their involvement became clear once investigators started speaking to the couple's acquaintances and examining the evidence at the scene. The cement drum, though an effective means of concealing the body, was not without its flaws. The way Saurabh's body had been contorted and stuffed inside, it was a telling sign of the brutal force used during the murder. As the case progressed, Muskaan and Sahil's initial denials crumbled under the weight of the evidence. For Muskaan, the truth was undeniable. She confessed to everything, revealing her affair with Sahil, the planning of her husband's murder, and the chilling details of how they disposed of his body. Sahil, too, admitted his role, though he tried to minimize his involvement, claiming that Muskaan had manipulated him into it. But the truth was out, and the horror of what had occurred in that quiet home in Meerut sent ripples across the country. How could someone so close, someone who had once vowed to share a life together, betray and murder with such coldness? What drove Muskaan and Sahil to commit such a heinous act? Stay tuned for the next part of this story as we explore the chilling details of the investigation, the psychological motives behind the crime, and the aftermath of this devastating betrayal. This part of the episode is designed to set up the murder mystery while laying the foundation for what's to come. It builds intrigue about the victim's life, the relationship dynamics, and the carefully executed crime, keeping the audience hooked for the next sections.